will see a conversation between two characters. One of them has a PhD in speech and language technology from KTH, the Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden. He's worked a lot on projects that were about human-to-human interaction, or human-to-robot interaction, or even human-to-dolphin interactions. And he's now working on the UN Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. And he is a speaker of a lot of languages, among Swedish, Norwegian, English, Spanish, Chinese, and he's now learning Swahili. His conversational partner is someone who's basically learning to speak human in an unbiased mode as possible, and we will see how that goes. So we have Preben, and we have Furhat, who's a very, very special character, a very open to learning character, and who wants to join our world, being the most customizable robots in the world, and who might help us to have some new forms of interviewing people for joining our team. So I'll let you to it.
Greetings, humans. My name is Furhat, and I'm a social robot. I'm designed to interact with people in the most natural way possible, in the same way you interact with each other, by talking, listening, and showing emotions. I'm really excited to be here in Bucharest and to talk about how I can make a difference in the world. To start, please, everyone, help me welcome my buddy Ben. Ben, please come on stage. Give him a warm hand.
Hi, Furhat. Thanks.
Hi, Ben.
How are you doing?
I feel great. Happy to be here. A bit nervous, though. When we rehearsed, you didn't tell me there would be so many people.
Yeah, sorry. No, I didn't think it would be important to you. But yeah, many people.
Of course it is important. Do I look good?
I think you look great, Furhat. Don't worry about that. Just let us show the audience a little bit what you can do.
Sure thing. Why don't we start with my face? I can make all kinds of expressions. I can smile. I can pout. And sometimes perhaps even look very angry. In fact, I can change my face completely to match what I am supposed to do. For example, I can be a woman like this.
Looks great, Furhat. But then a woman with a man's voice, isn't that a bit strange?
Well, of course I'm able to have a voice that matches my face.
Yes, of course, you're able to have a voice that matches your face. So, show us, what more can you do?
I can actually speak about 40 languages. Probably all of the languages in the audience today. I can speak French, for example.
J'aime parler français, la langue de la mode.
Or maybe you'd like to hear some Japanese.
日本語は美しい言語ですが、あなたは同意しませんか？
Or today maybe it fits well with some Romanian.
Este o plăcere să fim aici, în România.
Pretty cool, don't you think?
I think that was pretty cool, don't you think? Yeah. So, how are you going to make use of all these things?
Today we are going to talk about HR, human resources.
I see.
Which is kind of funny because I'm not human, but I like it because as you will see I'm different from your humans.
Yeah, that's true. So then let's show you a movie that says something about what you can do. Can we roll a movie on the screen? Somewhere? Should I click something? Can we get the PowerPoint up? PowerPoint, Shazam. No.
下午好，
No.
你能告诉我哪里可以买火车票吗？
你可以去位于你右侧的售票机那里买票。
啊，谢谢。
不客气。
El tren para la capital, ¿en dónde está? Mira, que lo necesito llegar, pero ya. Llevo tiempo buscando y todo eso. Yo no entiendo lo que quieres decir ahí, por favor.
¿A qué hora sale su tren?
Tenemos que llegar ahí a tiempo porque si no, no vamos a llegar al aeropuerto porque mi marido aquí se empeñó en llegar aquí sin Google Maps y estamos 15 minutos en tráfico. 15.
Ay, mira, tú con esos tacones que tienes, por eso llegamos tarde a todas partes.
¿Mis tacones míos?
Hay un tren que sale a las 12:10. ¿Será ese el suyo?
Sí, ese es.
¿Dónde queda?
Lo tiene a su derecha, en el andén 3. No se preocupe, tardará 2 minutos en llegar. El tren sale dentro de 6 minutos.
Ay, qué bien, ¿eh? Muchísimas gracias. Tal vez debería haberme casado contigo.
¿En serio? Siempre quise un anillo de compromiso. Les deseo un buen viaje.
¿Te estás coqueteando con mi mujer?
No,
No, pero... No entiendo qué...
Join us in creating a world where technology is more human.
All right. Good. So apart from that, we have a PowerPoint presentation. That's the one coming up. And so all these things, I should remind you all that we are in the illusion business. We are not making digital living being from silicon that have thoughts and feelings and so on. We are creating the illusion that you're talking to someone who understands and who cares about what you're saying. But of course they don't. This is something that will be, way in the future. But sometimes if you manage to make the illusion well, then we forget that it's an illusion and we get kind of swept away in it. And sometimes you can have conversations with a system like this that makes you really feel that you're talking to a living being. So we are creating a platform for human-robot conversations, human-robot interaction. And the platform, if you think about it a little bit like a smartphone, where you have the OS that enables you to call and so on, and then you have something like an app store, then we are creating something that we call a skill store. And so the idea is that it would allow other developers and other companies and so on to make human-robot interactions that are specifically for the purpose, a certain skill that a robot can have, kind of like a human being that is trained in a certain thing. And connected to The last speaker, and really what Furhat was talking about here, where he has some powers that human beings don't have, we talk about bias. And one of the companies that has made something pretty interesting with Furhat is called TNG, and they have made an unbiased recruiter form robot. So we can watch another movie, yeah?
Well, I think I'm the perfect candidate for the role. I love analyzing and organizing and executing these kind of complex projects. And also, my master's degree in corporate law is just the kind of academic background that I think would help me excel.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe that you're the person we're looking for.
Really? I especially like that it's a cross-functional role between the operations and legal department. And with my communication skills and my outgoing personality, I'm just the person you're looking for.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but...
And when can you start? I can start immediately.
I'm sorry, I don't think you fit our profile.
Always experience in delivering projects, and the majority of them on time and within budgetary estimates.
Well, you have all the qualifications and experience for this role. It seems like you're the perfect candidate.
Really? Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure, Nadia. Join us in creating a world where technology is more human.
Well, so of course another inspirational video. This is not how things are happening in the real world, but how we can imagine that it could happen. What TNG are doing at the moment, and they actually had global release last week on this thing, is that they're using Furhat for a pre-screener process where you have people coming in and Furhat asks the questions, and a transcription of what people are saying is being created, and then a human person will review the transcription and see if the candidate is fit or not. But what has been taken away from that is then their age and their gender and their race and all these things that we have, that we as humans are not able to remove our bias. And so this is a way, with this type of tool, you can somehow take away that bias. That's their idea. And I think it's pretty interesting. It's an application that we never thought up when we started building our robot. That was not on our horizon at all. But it's like that with smartphone as well. When they started the first iPhone, they had no idea that some of the biggest companies in the world are really just an app on their platform, like Uber or Airbnb, that are bigger than Apple in a way. If you think about it, it's an app. It's a way of connecting and controlling and so on. So similarly, we're hoping that there will be, many new and interesting ways of using social robotics in the future. How it works, detail, because your HR people maybe not so interested in the technology around this thing, but I'll try to, I'll just briefly go through something and say, you set up the questions and some answers, some follow-up things, and then you have a human. It's called a Wizard of Oz thing, which is in a way similar to what is happening here with a conversation with Furhat. So you remember the movie Wizard of Oz? So the robot, the magic tin can, was really not so magic. There was somebody behind the curtain controlling him. So what you make, you create buttons, which are called a prompt piano, and you have a human who is a trained recruiter listen in on the conversation and decide when Furhat is going to say what. And then you record and you collect all this data. And in this project, they have then made sure to use several recruiters so that you don't accidentally get some bias that one of the recruiters have. And they have made sure to not let the recruiter know things like I said, age and gender and so on. They are looking at transcripts of what's going on. So when you have a bunch of data like this, you do machine learning on that data. And sometimes there's a danger that maybe you've heard about, that the data that you train an AI on or an algorithm on is already biased. And that is something that we've taken good care to try to remove, so that the information is as unbiased as possible. So far, they're doing it internally, and what I've then been told from last week, they're making a new company under TNG called Tengai that will lease out these kind of recruiting robots to other recruiting companies. What it enables is to have many more people doing interviews. And then the final part, it's like a pre-screening thing. And so, because maybe you want to have the bias, you want to have the, in the end, at least initially, you want to have a human in the loop, right? So, according to what they have seen, this is in Sweden, a majority of people being interviewed by a recruiter feel that they have been discriminated against on some level, which was surprising to me. But that is really the reason why they think this is an important tool to use. It's almost impossible for us not to be biased. And another interesting thing was that people who were interviewed by the robot, after an initial, like, oh my God, what's going on? And I'm talking to a robot here. And then you get used to it, and you feel that you're able to express yourself easier or better because the neutrality of the situation, I guess. So I think that's pretty interesting, especially for HR people, I would imagine. We'll see what happens in the future, but exactly, that's what I said. There's an English version on its way, going to come next year, what I've been told. So Furhat, again, we're going to talk about something else now.
And now we will talk about social simulations, which is one of my favorite things to do, because I love to act and I can be anything or anyone.
That's right, you can be anything or anyone. Can you give us a good example of how you can be anyone?
Ben, you need to be more open-minded.
You can't be complacent and accept the world just as it is. You have to imagine what the world might be and then push and work towards that future.
Don't you agree?
Yes, I do. Yes, we can. So this is another one of the superpowers of a social robot like this, because it is mostly software. The only hardware that we have is the head that moves like this. But behind here, we have a plastic mask, and then it's a projector, and it projects a 3D model of the face that matches perfectly to this mask. And so together, they create, again, the illusion, the magic, and that the mask is actually moving, it's just happening in our brains, in our heads. So because of that, you can also change the texture, and in a flick of a button or program, you can make it a woman or a man or an Obama or whatever. So we get kind of the power of computer graphics that you use in games and movies and so on onto a physical robot. So compared to a mechatronic robot, it has a lot of advantages. It will be more flexible and so on. So this is one idea that we have and that we're pursuing in many different ways, is to have him do social simulations. So it means, for example, we're having an experiment in a school for children with special needs, autistic kids that can be, very intelligent, but that lacks that social skill and that think they're awkward in certain situations and so on. And then you can practice those situations with a simulated partner. So let's pretend that we're standing you're waiting for the bus and somebody comes up and talks about the weather. And so, you rehearse certain situations and until it feels comfortable, and you can review whatever you did and so on. So that's an interesting experiment that's going on. And we've had interest from the teachers also. We haven't built the things yet, but you can imagine as a teacher or learning to become a teacher that you could have a situation where Furhat could be the obnoxious parent that comes in and is difficult, and you need to learn how to handle certain situations. So difficult situations, unusual situations, things like that. And one of these special situations where we do have a customer is a bank in Holland called Rabobank. Probably going to change the name to Robot Bank or something in a while, I don't know. But we can watch another movie, maybe. There's someone there?
Hallo en welkom bij de training. Ik ben een sociaal intelligente robot.
This project is part of our ambition to use the newest technologies to empower our employees to excel and to become the best prepared workforce for the future.
Zeg het maar wanneer je klaar bent om te beginnen.
Ik ben er klaar voor.
Ik ben er klaar voor.
Goed zo. Daar gaat hij.
Goedemiddag Martin. Goedemiddag Erik. Welkom bij VO-Stock.
Rabobank is really trying to do something unique and really quite cutting edge with the Furhat robot. They're really trying to simulate an interaction between a bank employee and a certain kind of customer. In this case, a customer that they would have to deliver negative information to. And it's a way for the bank employees to really rehearse and practice this kind of interaction before they go out into the real world and have to do it with actual customers.
Tijdje niet gesproken. Hoe gaat het met jou?
Ja, het gaat goed. Hoe gaat het met jullie?
Goed om te horen. Met mij gaat het ook goed.
Our robot is really ideally suited for this kind of social simulation because the robot is so customizable. You could make it have any kind of face or voice or persona. And this allows us to create these kinds of very rich and specialized interactions that are quite subtle and create these rehearsal situations where an employee can really practice their skill.
So you see how it relates to what we said. This was an older version of our robot, and actually we have made another. I'm going to show you videos here today. So we have another video that shows another example of a simulation situation concept video. Let's roll the movie.
Young lady, I'm here to return these shoes. I'm not happy.
Okay, ma'am. And what seems to be the problem with them?
My feet hurt like hell. Your idiotic manager over there, he told me that these shoes were comfortable. Well, they're not. These shoes are dreadful.
Well, these are a bit worn out. Do you have your receipt with you?
Even the color is hideous. In fact, these are not my taste at all.
Okay. Well, can I please have the receipt, ma'am?
Right under your eyes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Well, okay, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee, but you bought this 3 months ago, so I'm very sorry, but I cannot take this back.
I am a regular, very well-respected customer here, and you should treat me that way.
I can't take this back for you.
Ignorant child.
I can't help you for being disrespectful to me like this. You're being very unreasonable.
If you don't make the exchange at...
You did really well, Angela. But you can't tell the customers that they're unreasonable.
Okay.
No. So try not to lose your cool next time, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Furhat, let's try another scenario.
Okay.
Let's do the one where the customer has a stolen credit card.
You got it.
Okay.
What do you mean this credit card is not working? Join us in creating a world where technology is more human.
We'll do it again. So yeah, I'm trying to give you an overview of different scenarios where it's a common question for us is like, okay, it's pretty cool technology, but where do you see it? How is it going to be used, and so on. So for the HR scene, I thought maybe interesting to have a quick review of these different things. So another example that we're going to look into, we have not really a simulation, but more of what should we call it? Let's do a test. We call it maybe a medical screener. Another concept, but this is the German company Merck that have actually started to work with us on something. I think we should have another video.
Okay, let me activate the
that's not a
medical
video.
screener.
That's right, that's you.
Hello, I'm Alice, the medical screener.
Hello, Alice.
Today I'm set up to screen you for alcoholism. Would you like to begin?
Why not? Let's give it a go. I forgot completely how we're gonna set this up. So yeah, sorry, Alice, but okay, I'm ready. I thought I was ready. Now, you see it's part of the magic here.
Great. First, how old are you?
Ooh, that's kind of a private question, but no, I'm 56.
Okay, and I wouldn't normally ask these questions in public, but does anyone in your family have a history of alcohol addiction?
Yeah, actually, my grandfather was an alcoholic.
I'm sorry about that. Do you feel as though you need to drink to handle social situations?
No, not really. I'm doing okay. I haven't had a drink today, for example.
Okay, and how many units would you say you drink per week?
Well, I don't know, like any Scandinavian, maybe a bottle of vodka per night or something.
I see. We're running short on time, but based on your answers, I recommend you to go see your local doctor. Would you like me to book you an appointment?
I guess I will be happy for you to book me an appointment.
Absolutely. I will send you an email with the confirmation booking. Take care.
Good. You too.
That was quite something, don't you think?
That was quite something, yeah. So, yet another example. So this was of course a toy example, but Merck are putting some robots like this that can do similar screenings for diabetes and a few other diseases, where it is of course not giving a diagnosis, but based on your answers, it can advise you to that you're okay or not. So if you're for diabetes, I know it has to do with are you tired, are you thirsty, and so on. So of course, these things could be an online form, and what they've discovered is that I think they even had them as online forms, and they noticed that people are not using them. So then they feel if you put it in a medical healthcare center or something like that, and while you're waiting for your turn, you can go in and you can talk to the robot in that room. Then people will tend to do it, and then you have the possibility to, get people screened for things that they otherwise wouldn't. So I think that's it for us tonight. Do you have any final words, Furhat?
I would like to thank you all for having me. It is a great honor to be here presenting in front of all you wonderful people. I think this goes to show just how far social robots have progressed, and this is just the start. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I hope to meet you all soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we have one question that I think somehow you already answered, so I challenge you to be very, very brief.
Yes.
Just to finish it with the HR touch.
Okay.
So Christina is asking, how do we use Furhat, for example, to recruit someone that would fit a particular team, which is a very nuanced type of request, and talking about belonging. So how do we use it? How do we program him to help it with this?
So what we have here is the interface, and then it will be somebody with a creative mind to have to set up the narrative for the type of questions. And that would be similar to any human recruiter. It's just that the human recruiter have this backpack with bias that is stopping him or her from doing a good job.
Mm-hmm. And maybe use multiple recruiters, as you said, to...
So, which is very labor intensive if you do it with humans. And so as a first step in order to allow many people to come and get a chance to do a job interview, and then it's like the needle in a haystack, maybe you have a better chance of finding the right person.
Great. Thank you so much. This is so exciting.